Yeah. Ha! Yeah, I'm so special, I'm so special, I'm so special, so special, so special. I'm like Ichigo, master in a red suit. This my Bankai form, I'm about to let loose. Better make your next move your best move. Straight out the gate, niggas gon' hate and try to test you. Watch who you with, who your mans, who you next to. If you take a hit with son assist like a nephew,
you can never check us. Homie, this a chess move. Wrote this on a little short bus, I'm so special. If Mav say get him, I'ma get him. Ain't no talking when I pull up. Park up, hop out, run down with my hood up. Now what the fuck are you hating for? Can't DFG get money anymore?
Turn smack rapper, only smack rapper that you know is smack rapper.
You remember how they was like Atlanta was running hip hop?
Yeah.
Do y'all agree to that?
Nah. Yeah, I do.
Hell no, that shit was a false advertisement.
Nah, I do.
At one point,
they was running New York radio too, so you can't deny it.
Yeah, at one point.
You can't deny it. And the only nigga that got a deal around that time was a nigga that sounded just like a nigga from Atlanta.
Have you ever been to Atlanta?
Yeah.
Who is that?
Bro, the vibe is different down there.
I was just saying that in the sense of because 50 existed. They
they
said Atlanta hit. 50 was on the way.
Yeah.
When did Atlanta run
do that
anything?
again,
Nicki
bro.
existed.
I'm just saying that nigga was whack.
We haven't.
Cardi came.
Wait,
French came.
hold on. He bringing up some
It's
shit.
facts.
We got to discuss this.
Atlanta never ran hip hop ever. If you start in the facts, because 50 came, I don't know no artist from Atlanta bigger than 50. Name one. Name one.
I don't think bigger.
What era are we talking about?
50 went from 03 to what? 08, 07?
Yeah, but you talking about you talking about one person.
We talking about an era.
Nicki Minaj.
Nicki Minaj had to go to Atlanta to get signed.
She's still from New York.
She had to go to Atlanta to get signed. That's still the era. That's still the area.
Right.
When you say Atlanta ran hip hop,
I don't know if Deb is gonna appreciate
when you say that. When you say Atlanta ran hip hop, there's a reason for it. Everybody has their turn. New York had a turn. LA had a turn. Atlanta had the South in general had a turn.
You had Jeezy.
Atlanta was in the front of that run. Jeezy, Outkast, T.I., all numbers on the board. Not to mention Nicki. I never said they had bigger artists, but you can't deny what Future.
Atlanta made noise.
They had the Migos. They had
Designer, Diamond, Pop Smoke, Young M.A, number 2. We could keep naming one.
You are conflating eras in time.
He's talking about recent.
I'm talking about what they had.
He's talking about eras. What era was it? You know, Atlanta had a time. They had their time where they was going Jeezy.
So 2000 and 2010 is Jeezy.
The South period. Had the New York, the East had their
twins. You had
we gotta do something about this because it's not fair. Atlanta is destined to win because they considered in two categories: it's East Coast and the South.
They don't consider themselves East Coast.
All right, then what is East Coast?
They are East Coast. Though.
No, when we talk about East Coast in the sense, wait. If we talking about hip hop, everybody knows where the East is, what they consider the East, what we consider the South, and what we consider out West. We're not talking about on the map. We're talking about I'm talking
about on the map because on the West Coast they don't discriminate none of that shit. They run the whole line down. They call it West Coast.
You ask somebody from Cali how they feel about something in the Bay. Like they have their own
differences
too.
Yeah, but they still consider
the dudes in New Orleans.
West Coast.
Ask the dudes in New Orleans how they feel about the dudes from Atlanta. But we consider it the South. But they have their factions just like we do.
But East Coast is more of like New York City, Jersey. After that,
Philly. To an extent.
Philly has that moment.
Yeah, that's it. That's East Coast too.
But the whole coast, bro. If we could claim, Miami, we never fell off. Nigga, what you talking about?
So what would the Clips?
We could claim
Georgia. What would the Clips consider themselves?
VA? Yeah, well, I don't know. What is it?
Good question. Ask them.
Because they would start with them.
The DMV. See how fast that happened? The DMV got their own shit. Okay. Wale, them. Timberland, Missy.
Nigga said DMV in the chat real fast too.
They got bro, every what we name the area doesn't have to be like consistent to what's on the map, but like when I hate to even bring this up. I remember the radio station call when Pimp C called into a station. He was like, "Yo, what time is Atlanta on? It's Eastern Standard Time." He was telling them, "Y'all ain't the South. We the," he's from Texas.
Right.
But Atlanta don't consider themselves the East Coast. When we start talking about areas of rap, we're talking about areas. So New York, New Jersey, Philly is considered East Coast.
I don't know.
From after that, there's the DMV.
I don't like
And
that.
after that, it don't
Nah, but,
I don't
but
like
the
that.
DMV is the East Coast.
I don't like that.
They got
I don't
their
like
own
that.
sound. They do their own thing. It's a different
I don't
sound.
like that.
It's still considered East
You know-
Coast.
you
It
know
should
when
be
you get-
considered East Coast all the way down the coast. bro.
Talk to them and see if they consider themselves.
So you would consider PD Pablo East Coast?
Yeah.
Why not?
because
Is he on the East Coast?
East Coast.
Is he from
He's
the
in
East
the
Coast?
South.
or South?
He's in the
Like,
South.
Yeah,
Like,
but it's
come
still
on.
East
Southeast,
Coast,
yeah.
though.
Y'all are okay.
I hear what you're saying, though, Mec, but that's still East Coast.
They don't consider themselves
so
that.
what do they consider themselves?
Who?
The South.
South.
The South,
yeah.
yes. New Orleans considers themselves the South.
South.
Florida considers themselves the South.
Right.
Atlanta considers themselves the South.
Right.
PD
And
Pablo will tell
Atlanta
you, like,
needs to
Bad
stop that.
boy South.
Atlanta needs to stop that shit because it snows out there now.
Facts.
Stop that shit. It's snowing. Y'all niggas
sense. That
got
makes
winter
sense.
cotes on. Y'all niggas got winter coats on. Cut that shit
there's
out,
a
man.
reason why Def Jam was
That's East Coast
located in
activities right
Manhattan,
there, man.
but when they went and got Ludacris and Scarface for a second, he was the president of Def Jam South.
Remember they had
just
Bad Boy.
Bad
South.
Boy South. We could talk about Nicki. We got to talk about all Young Jock, Bone. We could keep doing that too.
South.
But it's New York. You just said
Who's
that.
New York?
Bad Boy South. Diddy.
He specifically called it the South because that's where he
But
had to
the
go to
East
get
Coast
caught.
nigga
East
that
Coast
run it.
nigga.
Okay.
Ain't no Atlanta niggas coming to New York for you and that. Like,
Man, niggas rigged the
Oh,
board.
bro.
They rigged the board, son. They was
Yeah,
trying to lock New York out of everything.
Y'all
son.
really
Like-
just no. Listen. New York has its own sins. We did this to ourselves to a huge degree. Don't forget, we the niggas who booed Outkast at the awards show when they won Best New Artist.
How you know it wasn't the West Coast doing that?
Because we were in New York when it happened.
But that don't mean it was
shit.
New York
Don't
niggas
do
that
that.
was
Don't do
doing
that.
it.
bunch of
Don't do
niggas
that.
in there
Don't
saying,
do
"Yo,
that.
no,
Don't
did
do
that."
that. Don't
That's-
rewrite the history. They wouldn't have booed Outkast. We booed Outkast.
I didn't.
I was there.
Okay,
I wasn't
now-
I didn't boo.
Mac was there. Mac was one of the
He's
niggas
telling on
booed.
himself. He
Now-
said,
Mac
we
was in
booed
the
him.
building.
I didn't start working for the source then. Stop. Stop. You niggas. Like, okay, here's my question. Why is it a problem if Atlanta had their time and they
Nah,
I
it's
never
not a
said
problem.
they had
Shit.
their time. They
Not
said
a
it for
problem. We
20
love Atlanta.
years. I just didn't understand.
I mean,
Shout out to Atlanta. We fuck with y'all.
yeah,
Word,
like,
shout out to Atlanta, man.
I'll be
Yeah, I
out
love
there.
Atlanta.
So.
I don't never.
Shout out
love
to Rugs,
Atlanta.
Copper Cove.
everybody.
Shout out to
Brooklyn niggas took over
Copper
Atlanta,
Hills,
man.
Yeah, Brooklyn niggas went out there and got
Brooklyn
crazy.
niggas took over
Like, that
Atlanta.
shit just don't happen all the
Atlanta,
time, bro.
Atlanta gotta admit.
Why, Gaddy?
Atlanta has to admit
Yeah.
a lot of this shit came from some New York parents.
They was inspired by New York niggas.
I think
So-
everywhere.
Your parents
This
moved
is
out
the
there.
Mecca.
We
You
influence
claiming that
everybody.
shit, but you know where you got it from.
Facts.
Your
We
hip pop's
influence
from
everybody,
Brooklyn, your
man.
mom's from Queens, and y'all in Decatur somewhere. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of New York
It's
in
what it
Atlanta
is.
right now.
A lot of
T.I.'s
New York.
T.I.'s parents are not from New York. Bro, like, come on, you gotta stop. Like,
Nah,
y'all-
nah,
I'm
for
just
real, you
saying,
go
y'all
to
reaching.
the A right now. There's a lot of New York out there.
Okay, well, you up here, there's a lot of everybody. Like, what does that mean?
Not in New York. New York niggas is
everywhere
different.
else and every place.
New
is
York is everywhere
Nah,
else.
that's a fact. They're not here. We there.
We there.
Nah,
like you go anywhere,
They
Virginia,
don't come
North
here.
Carolina, Charlotte,
Facts.
you gonna see a bunch
Heavy
of New
New
York.
That just makes it look like we don't stay home.
All right.
We just gotta probably
Everybody
be
in the
house.
chat, put up where you from. Everybody
Oh,
in
this
the
is about
chat,
to get
put
super
out where you
interesting.
from.
First thing I see
And,
is
and
Bridgeport,
this is why
Connecticut.
all this coast shit don't matter. All this area shit don't matter.
My mama from the BX.
This is a man's world. This is a man. This is a man's world. This is a man.
To all the good women, God bless you all. I ain't even trying to stress you all. If the world up and just left you all on the edge to fall, I'll rescue y'all like a fireman.